Hey fight fans, today's video is going to be a short one because there is not much happened in the fight world in the past 24 hours. But what happened was important as there are 5 new UFC fight announcements, Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier's comeback and the official results of UFC Vegas 108 weigh-in show. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let's do it in chronological order like always and start from UFC Vegas 108 weigh-in show. Vegas weigh-in shows are always good as there are 2 fighters who missed their weights. First of all, Tresean Gore missed 3.5 pounds of his weight in his middleweight fight against Rodolfo Vieira, and then Rafael Estevam also missed 4 pounds of weight in his flyweight bout against Felipe Bunes. Both fighters are fined 25% of their purses and the fights are still on. Then the official complete bout order of Road to UFC August 22nd card is revealed. The main and co-main event features fighters currently on the UFC roster. Then on next day, August 23rd, UFC Shanghai card, there are 2 fights added on this one. First, as you already know, Song Kenan is out of his welterweight bout and now replacing him is another Chinese, Kailek Nuera, who is 11-1 in his professional MMA career with 100% finish rate. He will be making his UFC debut. Then another fight is a featherweight bout where Weston Wilson will try to get his second straight UFC win in enemy's territory against Yiz Ha, who was 5-0 in RTU but is currently 0-2 in the UFC. Then a middleweight bout is added on UFC Paris for September 6 card where Brad Tavares will try to get his second straight win against Robert Brzezek, who is coming off his UFC debut loss to Ior Poirier. Then a lightweight bout is added on UFC September 27th card where Tom Nolan will make his return in front of his own people to get his 4th straight UFC win after losing his debut against Ivan Elder, who is also riding a 3-fight win streak after starting his UFC career with back-to-back losses. Then lastly, a women's strawweight bout is added on UFC 321 Abu Dhabi October 25th. Jacqueline Amorim, who is currently riding 4-fight finish streak in the UFC after losing her UFC debut, will be taking on Mizuki Inoue, who is 2-1 in the UFC and will be trying to get her second straight win. And these are all the fights that are announced in the UFC. Other than these fight announcements, Max Holloway says he probably won't fight again in 2025 due to an injured hand. He will now probably return in early 2026. Anyway, he was one among 4 possible next lightweight title contenders and now there are only 3. Arman Tsarukyan, who is one of those 3, fires shot at Ilia Topuria for avoiding top contenders and acting like Conor McGregor and the BMF. Daniel Cormier also backs Arman Tsarukyan as the rightful next title challenger. Then there is Conor McGregor, who has lost his appeal in his civil sexual assault case from 2018. McGregor appealed the original decision from November 2024 but has been denied today, leaving him to pay roughly $250,000 in damages. Moreover, his given samples yesterday are now official on the website, so yes, he is now officially back. Then Dustin Poirier is also back but not as a fighter. Poirier announced that he will now be a part of the ESPN desk for UFC fights after his retirement from MMA in July. Poirier also says that he is ready to get jacked post-retirement, just got new equipment in his gym. And then there is an unexpected news from the UFC as they have parted ways with Martin Buday following Buday's UFC Abu Dhabi win over Marcus Buchecha. Buday fought out his deal and the UFC elected not to re-sign the ranked heavyweight. I get the dude was boring, but he was 7-1 and heavyweight division is empty. We have heavyweights on our roster who are 1-6 and 1-4 and some ranked heavyweights who are currently winless in the UFC. Another proof that Dana's claim is false, that UFC is about who is the best fighter in the world. Anyway, there is some content from Korean Zombie who uploaded his reaction when Dustin Poirier dropped Max Holloway. He then gifted Max Holloway a pair of flip-flops he brought from Korea before Max fight with Dustin Poirier. Then he also casually picked up Max Holloway's BMF belt from the couch and started posing. And then the last UFC update is from UFC Bantamweight champion as Merab Dvalishvili can be seen sparring in the background of a Punjabi music video. This song named Daytona by Karan Aujla will most likely released on August 22nd. Then at the end of this video, there are two important updates from the boxing world. Jaron Boots Ennis has officially vacated his WBA welterweight title to move up in weight, and now their secondary champion Rolly Romero has been elevated by the WBA to become their full welterweight world champion. Romero is currently in talks to fight Ryan Garcia in a rematch. Then the WBA has ranked Jaron Ennis at number 2 in their latest super welterweight world rankings. On the other hand, WBO had already ranked Ennis, and Ennis is currently in talks to fight for WBA super welterweight title eliminator against WBA number 3 ranked Josh Kelly. And another news is from Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. Joshua versus Paul is in active talks, and the fight is a realistic possibility, according to Paul's MVP co-founder and CEO Nakisa Bidarian. But I personally think the fight will fall through, and then the Jake Paul will tell us all that AJ was scared of him, and then he will announce that he is fighting Artem Lobo. By the way, do you think Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua will happen? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section, and then do whatever you want.